Hello, this is Rena, and in this video I'm going to show you how to paint these beautiful watercolor florals in Procreate app. I'm also going to show you how to turn these florals into digital stickers that you can put in your digital planner. So these are really versatile. You can see I've made different arrangements and they really stand out on black paper. You can make corner stickers, edge stickers. You can also make them semi-transparent. This will be part one of the video. Please comment if you would like to see the rest of the series. And please subscribe for weekly content on digital planning and Procreate. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the canvas that I'm using. I will put a link to this down below and also the brush set that I am going to use in this tutorial. So with this canvas, there is a texture layer. So all of these three are texture layers. You do not want to paint on them at all. Just do not touch them. And you want to paint in the layer that is called paint here. Now the brush that I'm going to start off with is called the textured brush, and this brush is pressure sensitive, so the harder you press, the fatter the stroke will be. You can easily use the selector tool to turn this upside down, rotate it, and you can easily make the other leaves. I'm also going to show you how I freehand drew the leaves at the end of the video, but if you're not feeling confident, this is the easiest way to draw and copy the leaves and make an arrangement without having to draw each leaf. So here I'm just using the flip horizontal and flip vertical tools and also rotating the handle until I get my arrangement of leaves. You can use the freeform tool to make wider leaves or thinner leaves, and you can see here I'm going to make a skinnier leaf by dragging the handles. So when you copy and paste the selection, they will all appear on separate layers. So what I'm going to do here is pinch the layers together so that they're all merged onto one layer, and that will make it easier for me to apply adjustments to all the leaves in one go. So now I'm going to create a new layer for the leaf stem, and I'm doing this on a new layer so that it's easier to edit and to erase mistakes. I do not want to put this on the same layer as the original leaves layer. And I'm just going to pick a slightly darker green here, and the brush that I'm going to use is the medium line. So this brush is really good for stems. And if it's too wide, you can toggle the size to make this thinner, depending on how thick you want your stem to be. And what I've done here is to put the stem layer underneath the leaf layer because I think that looks better. And now I'm going to use the blender brush to show you how I soften the harsh lines. So where the lines meet each other, there will be a harsh line, but you can easily use the blender tool to just blend this out. Just make sure that you toggle the size of the tool down to an appropriate size because you do not want to smudge on the outside of your drawing. If you find that you've gone outside the edges, just tap on the back button and you can try again. And I'm also going to use the eraser button to erase the tips of the stem where they meet the leaf, just so that they don't show through underneath. So next I'm going to apply some more texture to my leaf to make it look more watercolor-like. So I'm going to do this on a new layer because I do not want to edit the leaves layer. And then on the new layer, I want to set that as a clipping mask over my leaves layer. So what this will mean is that any effect I apply to the leaves will stay within the edges of the leaf. And now I'm going to select the sponge wash brush. So here I've picked a slightly darker blue-green color, and I'm just going to go roughly over the leaves. And this doesn't have to be neat. And I'm just going over all the edges to create this watercolor look. You can edit the effects layer with the adjustments tool, and you can see here you can make this darker or lighter, and you can also change the hue and the saturation to toggle this to how you want the overall effect to look. Next, I'm going to apply another effect, which is going to go on a different layer once again. So I always make sure to keep different effects onto different layers, because I can then easily delete one of them. I can undo it without having to tamper with my other effect if I'm already happy with it. And the brush I'm going to pick here is the Water Drops brush. So I'm just going to play with the size and transparency. I've turned the transparency down so that it doesn't look as white. And I'm just going to paint over the leaves to make it look like there are water splatters. Now the third effect I'm going to show you is with the texture wash brush. So I'm going to pick a slightly darker color here. And once again, this will be on a new layer. So here I'm just going to duplicate the leaves layer, because I actually want to change the brightness and hue of this layer without losing what I had originally. So I do this a lot when I'm painting. When I duplicate the layer, I just make sure to toggle the visibility off of my original layer, and I just keep that aside in case I want to return to it at a later point. And with this one, you can see I've turned up the brightness, and you can also change your hue to make this a little bit more yellow. And you can decrease the saturation. And this will just give it a slightly different tone to your first set of leaves. And then with the texture wash brush, I'm going to pick a slightly different color to my leaves, and I'm just going to go over it roughly again with my pen. And once again, you don't want to do this uniformly, you just want to apply this over the edges, at the tips of the leaf, to give it a less uniform look. And once again, you can toggle the brightness and hue of this new effects layer until you can achieve the effect that you are happy with. So here I've turned it slightly bluer, and I think this gives it a more interesting look. If you make a mistake and you think, oh, this bit here is too dark, you simply have to get the eraser tool and just erase out, I would suggest, the entire shading on that leaf, and then you can start again with the brush. So textured wash, make sure you're picking the color that you were on, and you can just go again. If you're not happy with the edges of your leaf, it's also very easy to change the shape of it. So once you've put down the brush tool, you can tap on the eraser tool, change it the size so that it's slightly smaller, and then you can just erase the edge to change the shape of your leaf. Now the next trick I'm going to show you is, now that you've finished your element, what if you wanted to make that into different colors? You can do that very easily. Now you can do that in the same canvas, but I don't suggest that you do that, because as soon as you combine all the layers, it will then make it impossible for you to split them out. So I would always suggest making a copy of this canvas, changing your colors in this new canvas. So let's say I wanted to merge all of these different layers. I'm going to merge the stem with it as well. And now you can change the entire color of this whole painting. So you're just going to tap on the adjustments button, and then hue. You can see now I would use this for like autumn leaves. And then you can also make this a bit more blue. So you can use this to make different colored variations of your painting. And also in this part, I'm just showing you how I freehand drew the same leaves without using the selector tool. So if you want a more natural look, so this would be more watercolor-like, you would then not use the selector tool and just hand paint each individual leaf so that they're all different. Now this takes slightly more practice because instead of getting it right once, you have to hand paint each leaf. And once again, I'm going to go in with the medium line brush to draw these stalks. And remember, you can always use the selector tool to rotate and readjust any leaf that you would like. And once again, I'm going to create an effects layer, and I've done a clipping mask on the new layer. And then I've picked a slightly darker color, and I've selected this sponge wash brush, and I'm just going to go over the edges with the sponge effect. And I'm focusing particularly on the edges and the base of the leaf. And you can always go back a second time if it's not dark enough. And here I'm going to show you how you can also add some more detail to your leaf. So I've created a new layer as a clipping mask once again, and I'm going to pick a slightly darker color, and then I'm going to use the fine line pen, and then I'm going to draw some more detailing on the leaf. So that there is the end of part 1 of this tutorial, and in the other series of this video I'm going to go through the rest of the watercolor florals that you can see here on the screen. So please comment if you found this useful and if you want to see the rest of it. That will really encourage me to make more tutorial videos. So I hope you liked it, and thank you for watching, and see you soon.